Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Thursday. It's the 26th of December, 2024. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Gulfstream, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. We're gonna look at the sixth and eighth race here from Gulfstream. The sixth race, it is the Rampart Stakes. It's going for a purse of $140,000. Races for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We have a very good field of 8 horses going for the distance of ground is 1,600 meters or a mile on the Rampart. I'm going to go take a shot with the number 6 horse here, Dazzling Move, as a top selection. 6248 for me in the superfecta. 6248 super, top selection 6 horse, Dazzling Move. This 3-year-old filly by Not This Time, Michael Trombetta trains. Jorge Ruiz comes in to ride this horse. They ran the horse most recently in the Mid-Atlantic at Laurel, 7 furlongs in the safely kept stakes, where he finished fifth by 4 lengths. He was flying on the front end with them early on, seeing some wicked fast fractions. Just yielded off of those runs. The run that day just wasn't a day to win. Also, a quick turnaround from the previous race. Coming here to South Florida with this horse, really likes running on this track. I'm going to give this horse a shot to win here today. She ran terrifically last two back in the pumpkin pie and aqueduct. 7 furlongs third in November, and she finished second by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Sat back early, had a little bit of a wide trip, but she was closing up well late behind a next out winner that day. Not a bad race in the feet. And then option 40 at Laurel over the mile on 20th of September, winning by 6 1/4 lengths from a tracking trip. She really took off clear. I think when they let her close into a pace, that's when she does her better running style. Last time out, setting the wicked fast fractions, she just wasn't getting into it. I would like to see her just a little bit closer, like she did in June at Laurel over that mile on optional 40 or optional 6-2, where she won by 3/4 length from track and trip. She really took off clear, a little bit wide late, but a good run. Came back to running the Wilton at Saratoga over the Wilson Mile after that, where she just ran horribly from an outside post or second the fractions. Like I said, if they just let her close up into a base, that's where she's going to do a better running style. She broke her main here over this mile trip back in March quite easily. Training well coming to this one at 15-1. She's gonna have to get a little bit faster on the buyer side, but I think she has ability to win here. I think the two horse who is, if we get the page flipped, the 2 horse power squeeze for David Egan and Jorge Delgado going also. Getting back and trip, which I think is going to be a good thing for this horse. She ran most recently in the Cotillion, where she just wasn't getting into it. I thought she just saw a very tired horse at the end of the campaign. But one closing up in the Alabama at Saratoga over the mile and a quarter, and won the Delaware Oaks over the mile 16th quite nicely also. Her races on this track haven't been half bad at all. Back to a mile, won the cash run over this track back in on New Year's Day this year quite easily. At 5-2, not the best price in the world, but she could get a piece of it. I'll use her in the in the pick five that begins with this race. But to recount my selection for the six from Gulfstream, it's the Rampart. Gonna go take the 6 horse Dazzling Move. Give kudos to the 2 horse Power Squeeze, 6-2-4-8 Super, 6-2 in the multi race. Let's head over to the co-featured eighth race from Gulfstream, which is the Via Borghese Stakes. It's going for a purse of $140,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of, let's see, field of 10 horses going to the turf course at the distance of ground of 2,200 meters or a mile 3/8 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. I'm going to go take the number 2 horse here, Mark Sam Queen as a top selection, 2-3-8-1 in the superfecta, 2-3-8-1 super, top selection 2 horse Mark Sam Queen, this 4 filly by DeBowie here, Grand Motion trains, Jorge Ruiz gets the mount. They ran the horse most recently not in the red carpet stakes at Del Mar, mile 3/8 on the 24th of November, and he finished third by 4 1/4 lengths that day. Had a bit of a trouble trip around the third turn that day. She moved a little bit late, but I think cutting back to the Gulfstream Park turf course here today, where you'll get a better trip, I think she's going to be in a more realistic spot to win. Two back in the launch race at Keelan over the mile and a half, 13th of October. She finished second by a neck that day, and she was saying the fractions that day. She got caught right at the wire, but she ran her heart out. Frankie rode a terrific race on this horse. And then back up at Woodbine at mile 16 in August, and option 50. She finished fourth by 3 1/4 lengths. She was on the front end. She just kind of yielded late. I think coming here to a longer trip, they just let her slow it down on the front end or even get a good tracking trip. She could win here. She's training well at Palm Meadows at 8-1. I'm going to give her a shot back to a longer trip. I think the 3 horse Avenue Niel for Horacio Caramanos and Michael Trombetta going also. First start in the Trombetta barn, most recently in the Clement barn in the Long Island and Aqueduct over the mouth of Rage. Finished fourth by 2 1/4 lengths that day, and she was just wide, never really getting into it. Prior to on the way at Saratoga, at Aqueduct, she just, again, was just way out of it. won a very nice Kentucky Downs optional 80 over the mile and a half by half a length back in September, and then had some decent races at Saratoga over the summer, and that option 62 over the mile 3 in August. She finished second by a neck behind Aspen Groves, who's a decent horse that day. She's a little bit wide, but she flew into a pace. I think the trip is right for her. I think she's going to like the lightning fast ground. 6-1 training well into this one. I'm going to give her a shot on the slate pick four ticket. But to recap my selections now for the eighth from Gulfstream, it's Via Borghese. Gonna take the two horse Mark Some Queen. Give kudos to the three horse Avenue Niel. 2381 Super. 2-3 in the multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.